so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats, you know that we gotta run it back. Whether on the field or the court, you know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
What's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. You know what it is. So, Caitlin Clark, man, she has done it again. It's hard to explain it, but why explain it? Because we see the motion, we see the gravity, we see everything that she does. So, and we already know that everybody wants to capitalize on her stardom. You know, we done had 16s with rescheduling their games to complement what the motion CC brings. So, but the latest, it was unexpected because ESPN has jumped on the scheduling conflict train. Yes, they have jumped on it, and by this says Caitlin Clark makes history for the WNBA once again. ESPN now is set to broadcast Caitlin Clark's return to Iowa versus the Brazilian national team in the WNBA's first ever national televised preseason game. Now, me personally, we already know how ESPN roll. We already know that. They know that that game is going to break viewership numbers. It's going to break attendance numbers because Caitlin Clark is returning back to her alma mater, Iowa, where she played 4 years there, broke all kind of records there, and then entering the WNBA last year and becoming Rookie of the Year, breaking numerous records there in the W. And now she makes history again before she even touched on the court in her second year. And people think that her motion is not real. They continue to downplay it. They continue to try to minimize it to their own liking. But you can't. You can't. Because the fact of the matter is, excuse me. The fact is, we already know this. We already accustomed to this. And if everybody that's a Caitlin Clark fan, Caitlin Clark content creator, we already know this. We already know what the motion is. Now, it says Caitlin Clark Fever Expedition game in Iowa picks up by ESPN in WNBA first. So you have the likes of Diana Taurasi that was in the league before she retired. You have the likes of Asia Wilson in the league, who they say is the face of the, according to them, the face of the league, the reigning MVP, two-time champion. Then you have Aja Reese, who said when she go down in history, the movement of the WNBA or women's basketball is not because of one person, it's her too. Then you have Sabrina Ionescu. Then you have Breanna Stewart, the reigning WNBA champions. Then you had the reigning defensive champion, Nafisa Carter. So ask me this. Why haven't ESPN picked up any one of their games for preseason? So that's what I'm telling you. See, no matter what narrative they're trying to spin and give you and say that Caitlin Clark isn't the one, even Knight tried to disrespect Caitlin Clark by putting out Paige Becker's Knight shirt, having the one on there. We already know how Knight rolls, so I don't even want to start with them. So, but it just goes to show you, no matter who they try to promote over Caitlin Clark, it always comes back to Caitlin Clark to save them, to make them look good, but they don't want to give her credit, And until they understand this, I doubt if they do, then, hey, is what it is. So, Caitlin Clark effect has reached the preseason. This is by the Athletic, by the way. ESPN will broadcast what is believed to be the WNBA's first national televised exhibition game when Caitlin Clark returns to Iowa for the Indiana Fever game against Brazil national team on May 4th. Sources believe on the network scheduling said The game is scheduled for 5 p.m. Central. Tip-off will be on ESPN unless the network has a Game 7 in the WNBA playoffs. In that case, the FIBA Brazil game will shift to ESPN2. Let me explain something to you real quick. I doubt, I doubt they'll shift it. They might even shift the Game 7 with the finals, which the finals ain't gonna go to a Game 7 anyway. It'll probably be over in 4 or 5 or 6, whatever the case may be. But this is smart marketing by the ESPN though, because knowing that this game comes right on, right after, you know, or or well, if they do have a Game 7, then it would shift. But nevertheless, just knowing that they already had that slot taken, so. And being honest, if the NBA Finals is not drawing numbers, I don't see ESPN showing them. I think they will move it to ESPN2, maybe. But just think about this: ABC and ESPN will share probably that game. ABC might have the NBA Finals if it's a Game 7, but ESPN most likely will show Caitlin Clark, on there. Now, just hypothetically thinking, but nevertheless, just think about this. Imagine what the sellout crowd gonna be. Imagine what the viewership numbers gonna be, and guarantee you next year the Indiana Fever preseason game will be against another for international team, because now ESPN would say, "Oh wow, she did these numbers. Can we get somebody else?" They already know they can't get nobody else. They, I mean, they could probably say they might try to do page breakers, and it depends on what page, how the Dallas Wings sell, you know, throughout the season, and how Paige plays. It. They might look at and say, well, let's get Paige to do, play UConn, play her, go back to UConn and play some other body. It's not going to be the same. The only way this is going to work is you continue to book CC doing preseason against a national team, which it would be good. I will probably do it again, or maybe you could get her in the Fever to go overseas and play somebody overseas, which will definitely be more appealing to me, because then you showcase her in over there overseas playing against different teams. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that the NFL does time and time again with their NFL teams. They always play overseas all the time and everything. And that's why I keep saying that the WNBA is so slow paced in what they're doing. They could easily have a game or two of the Fever booked overseas this year playing. I don't care if you have them playing against New York. I don't care if you have them playing against Dallas. I don't care if you have them playing against Chicago. I don't care if you have them playing against the Aces or whoever. If you want to showcase the international presence, you know, then have your teams go over there and play. You know what I'm saying? Have your teams go over there to play. But make no mistake, and that's why this is always goes back to the Olympics last year when Caitlin Clark didn't make the Olympic team. They were so fear of the spotlight, but guess what? They should embrace that. They was like, well, yeah, we can bring her in, and give her some playing time. But, we win gold, we gonna win gold. They were gonna win gold anyway. But the thing about it is, you got to look at it. Caitlin Clark would have put the WNBA into a whole stratosphere if she was on that Olympic team. But but then when you see how the Olympic team played, and they almost lost, it makes the difference. Like, dang, you could have had Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark could have been the starting point guard over Chelsea Gray. She could have backed up. It would have been a way you could have do it. You know what I'm saying? It would have been a way. But nevertheless, it just goes to show you that how Caitlin Clark movement and what her gravity is about. And people just need to stop denying it and start saying, hey, this is what it is. You know, but nevertheless, now the Fever, I mean, not the Fever, but the Chicago Sky do play the Brazilian national team this year, but I doubt it would be on ESPN, because I think that is not going to break record breaking numbers. I tell you this is going to be a history making game for the Indiana Fever and for ESPN to showcase this game on there. It's going to be record breaking. It's going to shatter any viewership record that ESPN might have in the previous years. And this be the ESPN's first time showcasing a preseason game with the WNBA. That goes beyond saying for itself. Now, we already know countless Hawkeye fans that has become Fever fans would consider the family. Fever president of basketball operations, Kelly Krakoff, said in a statement when the game was initially announced that that's what we make this preseason matchup so special for us. The lack of accessibility preseason broadcast has become a pain point for fans in recent seasons, as many has clamored to have network partners for these games. They air on these games. Last season, the exhibition game between Chicago Sky and Minnesota was unavailable on the broadcast, but totaled more than 2 million views through a fan phone stream on X. I mean, you think about it. Okay, if you had that on television, would it get over 2 million views? That's the case. That's what you have to look at yourself and think about that. Would it get 2 million views if it was on national TV? No, it wouldn't. So by a fan streaming it on their phone because everybody lives on X, yeah, it's gonna garner 2 million views. You know what I'm saying? And that's not gonna happen. Just imagine he streamed Caitlin Clark game. You probably would have doubled that. So, but Clark and the Fever began their regular season May 17th when they featured 41 of the 44 national televised games or stream games in the upcoming season, the most by any franchise. And 10 will be on ABC, ESPN, while 8 will be on ION. Last year, Caitlin Clark won Rookie of the Year and named all NBA first team. 6 different WNBA television partners set viewership records for the highest WNBA game. All 6 involve Fever telecasts. Clark is not the only WNBA star returning to their alma mater for the preseason game. The Chicago Sky and returning to LSU with her alma mater for exhibition game as well against the same team. The Las Vegas Aces and Dallas Wings will play a preseason game at Notre Dame, the alma mater of guards Jackie Young, Jewel Lloyd, and Enrique Umuwale. The New York Liberty are also playing at the University of Oregon in a homecoming game for Nara Sabli and Sabrina Mescu. She meant to say Satu Sabli because I don't think Nara played at Oregon. So that's a misprint right there. But let me listen to what some of these fans had to say about this article real quick before I get out. Because it's crazy. Like I said, it's crazy to me. And just to get to see it, it's good. So one person said, damn, even ESPN getting scheduling conflicts. Super cool for the Brazil national team on US TV. They are going to be played in front of more eyes than most NBA teams will have in their first month or more. So the Caitlin Clark effect goes international. Somebody said May 4th. It's because of Me Too. And then they say they better hope she has a long and healthy career. You act as if the WNBA will cease to exist the moment she stops playing. Can't wait. Literally would watch this tonight over Golden State Warriors whipping the Grizzlies. Then Alicia Garten played for the Brazilian team. Now, we already know that Damaris Dantas played for them, but she won't be playing in that preseason, and she will be with the Fever team. So if you haven't checked out the video of Damaris Dantas, I had just dropped last night, looking very fit and slim, please do so to check out that. I will pin that video in this description as well. So let's start the 2025 WNBA season off with the CC effect, Caitlin Clark effect, added to the record watch list of 2025. And there you have it, guys. So being honest, Caitlin Clark continues to set records, continue to set a step above. Like I said before, she's out of this world. She's out of this stratosphere. There's no one like her. She has that Caitlin Clark, Joy, and Kobe effect. So until the next episode, Live Wire Sports, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live Wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats, you know that we gotta run it back. Whether on the field or the court, you know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.